everyone, I'm back to share a project. I used my new chicken noodle soup stamp. This is from Adornit. If you are not a member of the recipe stamp club, this is the January stamp for the club. Okay, so if you are already a member, you probably are getting this stamp or have gotten it already. I have a mask over mine because I did some masking so I could do some inking up around the stamp. But there's the stamp. Okay, you can probably see it better. I stamped it on the masking paper and then fussy cut it out freehand, and just kind of went around the top where the words are. I didn't want to have to cut it here. I could have, but I didn't do that. So I did use a mask for mine, and I also used this die from Diamond Dies. I don't think this company is still around. It's a very large mason jar, and I've used it before for another project. But being that it was chicken noodle soup, I thought, how about putting it in a jar? And that stamp is the perfect size for this particular die cut. So I used that. And then I used my tag holder die and the tag that coordinates with it from the stamp market. So here's the die that I used, and then also the largest tag in this set is what I used for the tag to put in the project. All right, so for the inking, of course I use black ink for my Copic coloring. And then I was looking for something that would be similar in color to, say, chicken noodle soup. So these are two inks from Lawn Fawn, Butter and Sugar Cookie. These are the two colors that I use for my inking. And I use a makeup brush to do my inking around the edges. This is in a set of like 10 or 12. They're all different size brushes. I like to use this one most of the time. And then I use my Copics for coloring, and there's quite a few here, so I'm just going to hold it up. Yeah. 1 second. I'm missing one. Here we go. I do have two colorless blenders in here, and that's because one of them has a bullet tip on it, the other one has the brush tip. So don't be thrown off by two number zeros. But these are the markers that I used. And oh, that's where that went off to. I also used some ribbon. And then some paper that is part of the add-ons if you are part of the Recipe Stamp Club. I'll put some information in the description box below if you're looking for where I got the stamp from. I'm an ambassador for Adornit, so they give me the stamps for my own projects. And then I use this scrap of the silver foil from Tim Holtz because the jar of the lid is done in that silver foil. So here is the project I have to share with you all. This will be an insert to my recipe book, which is hanging out here somewhere. Oh, hold on a second. Had to get my recipe book. So this one is going to go into the soup section, but I thought I'd go ahead and share this first. I did just tie some of that ribbon around and put a button on here, a threaded button, and this is glued down with some fabric glue that I like to use. And you can see where I did the shading around the stamped image. That's what I needed the mask for. I did not want to go into the areas of the image I was going to color. So I did the shading first, and then I colored the image, and you saw the colors that I used. So this is the recipe for the chicken noodle soup. I kind of left this area, you know, white so that it would stand out, and then, you know, the chicken and the eggs are colored up in here with the colors that I showed you. So on the back, I did use some of the papers that are part of the collection, the add-on kit. This is the tag, and I was toying around with putting one of these recipe cards on here. It's actually the same exact size as the tag, which is interesting. I don't know if I'll do that yet or if I'll just stamp some lines. Whoops. I'll just stamp some lines maybe on here. I like to use these types of things so that once you do make the recipe, that you can make any notes that you might want to make and leave it with the recipe. That way, you know, if you want to change something up a little bit next time you do it, you'll have some notes to space for notes to write down. And I added the ribbon here on the tag just as a way to pull it out much easier. So that's there as well. So this paper and this paper are both from the add-on kit. If you want the paper, and the paper is 8 sheets in a pack and it's double-sided. I showed it in a previous video when I received the stamp. So that is all together, and then there's my project again. And so, like I said, this is my recipe book that I made all the pages for, and I do have a soup section. Here we go. I don't have a recipe in it yet. That's nice. So it can go here, or it can go here. I'm thinking it would be nice to have it in this first part right here. Look at that. Perfect. I didn't actually plan that because I didn't look in my book to see what the soups page looked like. So this is the first time I'm seeing it in the book. That is too cute. It fits perfectly. I had that recipe card in here because I was, you know, kind of holding places, but I can put that back behind here. And I do have other things I want to color. This is one of Dianna's digitals that she put out through her Etsy shop. And then this is the original chicken noodle soup stamp. And it's smaller in size from the one I just shared with you that I colored. The photopolymer version is definitely bigger in size. And so you can read the recipe a little bit easier if you have trouble reading small print. But this in the red rubber, you can read just fine as well. It's not hard to read. I'm just saying that it is larger of an image here. I love how that looks. And as I said before, I'm trying not to make things too bulky because my book is grown pretty wide, and I want to be able to fit some more things in there without having to see. This is the first when I first made the book. One of the things that I mentioned was my preference is not to make it so that it does that, you know, but I think it has room to expand. So I'm okay with it still because it's still not too, it's not at its max, I think, in terms of size, but it's getting there. This will be, is this 1 year's worth of all the recipes? I don't know if I've done all the recipes. There's my snowman hot chocolate, but I think I've done most of them that are in here. And there's some extra ones as well that were pre-done. So this might be a year's worth of recipes. And then there, like I said, there are some extras in here. This was from her Etsy shop as well. But we're nearing Easter, so maybe this one will come out as a photopolymer stamp as well. Who knows? I don't know what the plan is. After this term for the design team, obviously they have to make a decision as to how they want to proceed. But I think they'll continue, I hope. So I think I have a year's worth of her recipes, which would mean there's going to be at least 12. So we've got 2 more months, right? So here's my other sugar cookie recipes in here. I did not take these out. I've got 2 of them in here. A card and then the jar with the stamp on the back. So that's an actual recipe card. I think I'll leave this one and maybe use the jar for a gifting or something like that. But it's in here as well. So that is kind of the tour of my book. I'm toying with the idea of starting another book, but that one will be a little bit different, I think. It might be more themed because I want to build something. I don't want to say what it is because I may not get to it for a little while. But that's my book. Anyway, thank you for watching, And stay tuned for more, because I do have other projects I've started. I just haven't finished them up enough to share with you all yet. But thank you for watching. Bye for now.